everyone. It's Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 10, Episode 10. I am live from the living room, lazily sitting on the couch. So how is everyone? What is up? What are you doing today? How has your week been? How has life been? What do you have planned for this week coming up? How was your Easter last weekend? Yeah, so I'm just waiting for some people to come on so that I have something to talk about. I don't have anything specific to talk about, but I've been cleaning the house and trying to get stuff done in the house. Never ends. Life is not like this, ups and downs, ups and downs. Life is like this: circle, circle, circle up, circle up, circle down, circle down, circle up, circle down. Because you just keep maintaining everything, right? So it goes like, you know, housework, job, food, kids, partner, whatever. And then like you just keep going around, like everything needs to be done again. So grocery shopping, housework, animals, whatever. You just go in circles maintaining life. And I have to tell you that you guys are people too, so that's what you guys are up to. So in the world of the family, I'm just going to say it on here because, so in and around us, we have had lots of babies being born. There's been about 6 or 7 babies in the last few months that have been born to people close to us. And Steve was about to post that we'd become grandparents, and then one of the babies that have been born around us only survived till 3 days old because their heart wasn't fully developed. So having lost that baby and it being a very sad and difficult time for that family, Steve was worried about posting about our grandbaby right away. Like, so, well, first we had to wait for Amy and James to post, because, you know, they're the parents. And our grandson had a little bit of an infection and stuff when he was born. So he was in the hospital for a couple of weeks because he's on antibiotics. So Amy and James were waiting till Jackson got home and everything would be okay. And then they posted. Now they posted, and I'm waiting for Steve to post. So he, like I said, he was about to post, and then that happened with that baby, and that's just a really sad situation. So we haven't posted about Jackson yet, but I can tell you on here that he is a healthy baby boy. He was 9'8" when he was born, and he was born on April. Is it April right now? April. Yeah, so he was born on March 21st. And so he's almost a month old already. In a few days he'll be a month old. Yep, and his name is Jackson Bailey Underhill. So we have a little grandson. We actually saw him today. Steve's stepdad, it's his birthday yesterday, so we went out for lunch, and it was me and Steve, Steve's mom and stepdad, and Amy and James and the baby. So it was a really nice lunch. And Jackson was good for the whole time, and Grandpa Steve held the baby the most, because he's obsessed with his little grandson, which is really sweet. So, yeah. So, congratulations to us. There's a picture of Jackson over there when he was just born. And when somebody comes near, I'll get them to pass it to me, because I'm just being lazy and not getting up. But congratulations to everybody else who's had their babies near and dear. The first one that started it was actually Steve's best friend, Stuart, which I may have told you guys about on here already. Stuart has a daughter named Amy as well, who's a bit younger than our Amy, and she had her baby a few months ago. It was after Christmas, but I can't remember when exactly, but she started it with a little baby girl. And then, like I said, there's about 6 or 7, I'd say, that of new babies that have been born, and girls and boys. So yes, congratulations to all those new parents and new grandparents and people who've been parents already and this is their second, or people who already have grandkids. James, Amy's husband, James's parents have 2 grandkids, I believe, from his siblings. So Jackson is their third. but Amy's mom and her husband, this is their first grandbaby, and it's our first grandbaby. So very exciting. Lots of visitors at the hospital, especially with being in there for 2 weeks. And yeah, he's been home for at least a week now. I can't remember. So yeah, well, I mean, like I said, he's almost a month old, so he's been home for at least a week, and everything's going fine. Everything's going well. And Mom says, hi, Lisa. Hi, Mom. I hope you're well as well and that you had a good Easter. And yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh, so okay, so I started with that. So that's where we were today. I can go through the 4 kids. Tom is booked for doing his theory test to get his license. So that's what he's working on besides going to work every day with his dad. Allison just got a job today at a, it's Delamere Forest Cafe. So Delamere Forest is like a forest, but it's got like how in Canada we have like national parks. It's sort of like that. It's got shops and like a visitor center and cafes and different things that you can do there, and the forest that you can walk through and everything else. It also has a thing called what did Steve call it? A gorilla? No, not a gorilla. Was it a gorilla? Or an ape? Oh, ape. Not ape escape. It's something with some type of monkey. And it's like where they have like stuff from tree to tree, like bridges and ropes and stuff that you can climb on and do a bunch of different things. I can't remember what it's called now. But it's something like ape escape or something that rhymes with some type of monkey. It's not Go Gorilla. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's something like that. And anyways, it's like obstacle courses, but up in the air from tree to tree and everything else. So that's cool. I've never seen it. Actually, today when we brought Allison for her interview was our my first time being at Delamere that I can remember. So yeah, so Allison's got that job, and it's just had her trial, what do you call it? Trial shift today, and Aurora is working at her job, serving, and she's been there a few weeks now. She's doing really good and loving it. She had 3 weeks off of college for work experience. So because it's in the food industry, the work that she's doing at this pub is her work experience, but she's getting paid for it as well. So she's really enjoying that. And then that brings us to the youngest, Erica, who is, just in school. They've been on holiday for 2 weeks for Easter and spring break. But Erica goes back to school tomorrow, and I believe Aurora goes back to school on Wednesday, or Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yeah, Erica is nothing necessarily different with Erica. She's just probably had a good holidays, but now she's got to go back to school. So that is updating you on all of the childers. The dogs are good. You may have seen the video of Sasha going through the glass of my greenhouse. You may have even seen pictures or videos of the beautiful new greenhouse, which I am so happy and excited about. You may have even seen me reading Easter stories last week from the greenhouse. Yes, Sasha did smash through one of the panes of glass. Luckily, it's toughened. What kind of is like toughened glass? There's another word in there that Steve said. Super toughened glass. Strengthened, toughened glass, something like that. And so the dog and the glass were both fine, luckily. But at the end of the video, I was just like, I think it's time to go now, because I was like in shock. I didn't know what to do with the dog going through the window. But the dogs are both good. The greenhouse is amazing. Very excited about it. It's still chilly outside on some days. It's supposed to be up in the teens these next few weeks. So hopefully some sunshine and teens during the day, and then in the greenhouse it'll feel even warmer. I do have a heater I can put on, but I don't have any electricity outside right now, so for me to plug in the heater I have to go through the patio doors, and yeah, it's kind of annoying, and it's a bigger greenhouse than my old one, so to hold the heat in. But I can still put the heat on just to keep my feet warmer or whatever if I'm too cold. But when the sun is shining, it gets very toasty in there, so that's nice. I need to start doing seeds. I started just castor beans, that's it. But that's the beginning of it. So, I mean, it's late in the game here for some things starting seeds, but I'll still start them. Can't hurt. And then, but, you know, I'm focusing on just getting things in order and organizing the greenhouse and whatever this year. So, I posted out seeds for friends and family who wanted packets of seeds for flowers and veg. And again, I'm sorry I didn't do it earlier, but they are posted. And now I'm just hoping that they actually will go through customs and get through, because like they're all sent to Canada, because that's the only people who ask for any. And I got they call them, I call it a sliver because I'm Canadian, but they call it a splinter. But I got, wait, right here I've got something in there. I can feel it in there, but it's not. Anyways, so yes, all of the people who asked for them were in Canada, so I've sent those, and we will see if they get through customs. They should, because they're all packets from well-known companies that, you know, would obviously be checking their seeds for disease and all that stuff. But also, but some countries are very strict with their importing of seeds. So we'll see if the envelopes get to you. If you're one of the people and you're watching this and you receive the seeds this week, hopefully this week. I just sent them last week, but sometimes the post is really quick and sometimes it's not. But if you receive the seeds, let me know. Sorry, I keep looking down at my, it's bugging me now, but it's not an obvious one, although I don't even have my glasses on, so maybe it is sticking out a little and I can't see it. It is, well, yesterday I was in the greenhouse and I was working a lot with succulents and cacti that were in there, so I was taking them, and if they had grown long and lanky, I was cutting them into pieces, and then letting them dry out for a day, and then repotting the stems, which reminds me, because I've been out all day, I didn't put them, you can leave them dry out for a couple days, so they'll be good for another day. But when I cut them, no, I can't figure out anything there. When I cut them, so you have a long stem, and you're cutting it into stem cuttings, there's one thing that I've seen where they'll cut on an angle and then straight, so that when you know the angle is the bottom and the quick straight cut is the top, and then you can put them like that so you don't get mixed up. But because I was in the greenhouse, it was a controlled environment, I wasn't outside in the garden or somewhere else, I just cut them straight, but I put them lined up so that I know that as I was cutting them, the top is facing the top. And, you know, they're all facing the right way. So the bottom is facing towards me, so I can put them in. Because you don't want to get that mixed up when you're doing stem cuttings. You don't want to accidentally put your stem cutting upside down where the roots should be growing out the bottom. Because weirdly, some plants will take like that still, but most won't. So Mom says it's plus 17 there today. And right now, so 7... So if this started at 8 here, it's 1 in the afternoon there. And what time is it now? 8:16. So it's 1:16 there and it's 17. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so we're going to be in the teens like that here too, hopefully this week. But, you know, the weather changes every day. So you look at the forecast and then you look at it the next day and it's changed for the 14-day forecast. I know I'm drinking my can, but I opened this before I poured my what do you call it, glass, but I do have my glass of pop waiting as well. This is the brand that Vive is from a shop called Aldi, and it's supposed to be zero cola, like, you know, zero, like, but it's like not zero. How would you pronounce that? ZX cola, ZX, zero sugar, extreme taste. Oh, that's what the X is for. ZX cola. So I guess zero extreme cola. That makes sense. So, what else? Oh, okay. So, I don't remember, like, sometimes I forget from week to week what I've talked about, but last week I just read stories. So I don't think I told you guys this, but I took out from the freezer, I took out a bag of zucchini, shredded zucchini. So shredded courgette. I took out red currants, strawberries, a bag of strawberries, but they had already been like cooked and then so I had a bunch of strawberries. One time Steve bought like so many strawberries that were reduced, like so many packets of strawberries that were reduced, and I just cut off the leaves and any soft bruises or any soft spots and stuff, and I had all these strawberries, and to take up less room in the freezer, I cooked them all just till they were mushy, and then I froze them in bags like a solid brick like this of strawberry instead of actual strawberries, because I knew I was going to use them for baking. So I took out a bag of strawberry, I took out a bag of give me a second. I took out a container of pumpkin. I have a bunch of pumpkin like that as well that's already like ready to, like it's not been cooked, but it's been blended, so it's nice and mushy, and it's frozen in blocks. But one container of the pumpkin that I had frozen was actually already spiced and everything. It's like what I would use to make pumpkin pie, so it had all the spices and everything in it. So I took that out, and so I said, a container of red currants. So I have a red currant bush out back here, and I pick the red currants every year, but this is the first time I've actually done anything with any of the red currants because there's a bunch in the freezer. So let me see if I got it all. Oh, and rhubarb. Okay, so yeah, strawberry, rhubarb, red currants, pumpkin, courgette, and I said red currants. So anyways, I made so many bran muffins. So the first bran muffins I made were blueberry. Oh yeah, there's one small container of blueberries and it was like still in the plastic container that came from the shop, and this film like that you pull back to eat them out of the plastic container had come open, so you know the blueberries could fall all over. So I made that. There wasn't that many blueberries, so it didn't make that many bran muffins, but I made bran muffins because they're healthier. So I made bran muffins, and then when it called for flour, I used wholemeal flour so that Steve can eat them because he can't eat white flour, and it's healthier that way. And I use bran flakes, like the kind you'd have for breakfast. Bran flakes, milk, brown sugar, a little bit of oil, and I can put the recipe online as well. I got it from online, but it works really good, really easy too. And then what to say? Oh, brown flour. Okay, and then like vanilla and baking soda, baking powder, a little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla, but I didn't always add the vanilla because it has the flavor of the fruit. So anyway, so I made blueberry bran muffins. Then I was using the zucchini or courgette, whichever you want to call it, shredded zucchini. And I thought about how I've had like zucchini loaf or like a chocolate zucchini cake. So I added some cocoa and I made chocolate zucchini bran muffins. Then I made strawberry rhubarb muffins, but because the strawberry and rhubarb had been frozen and then I thawed it, there's a lot of juice. So I cut down the amount of milk that I put in because you don't want to put too much liquid because then the recipe wouldn't turn out. And because I was using strawberries and strawberries are sweet anyways, I cut down the amount of sugar that it called for as well. So those ones were so yummy, and there were so many of those. So it was 4 times the recipe that I made, whereas some of them I was only 2 times the recipe. The strawberry rhubarb ones were 4 times the recipe. Then, and lastly, I made the pumpkin ones, which turned out the best and taste really good. Steve was like, oh, pumpkin? I'm not sure about that, but they are really yummy. And then the last ones I made were the red currant ones. And like I said, I've never baked with red currants, but I knew that red currants can be very like tart. So I knew that you would want the sugar in with those ones. And at first when I was eating them, they're not bitter, but they have like, again, a tart taste. Like they taste like red currants. And I thought, that's different. But then after I was done, because it was just a little one, after I was done, I was like wanting another one. So I was like, yeah, they're good. So I have so many bran muffins, and most of them are like in the freezer now too, because you know, I don't know how long the fruit was out before I froze it the first time. So they're the only ones that aren't in the freezer yet are the ones I made last night, which are the pumpkin and the red currant one. So I have to do that later today. I need to put them in containers and put them in the freezer, and that way we'll take out a few at a time. But Steve and I have been eating healthy since Tuesday, which was after Easter. So we have been doing really well with our eating. Even today when we went out, yes, I had chips, but I had, or fries. They call, like, any that are like shoestring fries, like the ones that are the size like a McDonald's and stuff, like, or like that kind of shape. They call those fries here, and anything bigger is like is chips, like a steak cut chip. But mine were small today but I had a grilled chicken burger and then chips, fries, and then it had a little tiny thing of coleslaw and then a salad on it. Two things. Can you pass me that picture of Jackson? Thanks. And what was the other thing? I don't know what it was. I think it was what that thing's called in Delamere Forest. Like, it's called like Go Gorilla or Go Wild. Something. It's like where you climb on like ropes and bridges and things up in the trees. Yeah. You want to say hi to everyone? Nope. Nope. That's Erica. So this is baby Jackson. Born March 21st, weighing 8'9". Is that right? 9'8", 9 pounds, 8 ounces. And yes, that is Amy and James's baby, our first grandbaby. So, Steve hasn't posted yet, but I can do it on here because it's not that we're not allowed to. But I'll still wait for him to do the official post and before I do it. So, what was I talking? Oh, and like I said, the bran muffin recipe is so easy. Like, you put your you put your bran flakes in, and then you put your milk in, and you I even know the recipe off by heart now. It's 1.5 cups of bran flakes, although I was doubling it, so then I did 3 cups of bran flakes, and 1 cup of milk, but double 2 cups of milk, and you let your bran flakes and milk sit so that it soaks up the milk, and that's normal because I've made bran flakes before. And then you do your other stuff, which is your brown sugar, your oil, and your eggs. It was like 2/3 cups brown sugar, 1/3 cup oil, and 2 eggs. Or was it 1 egg? It's 1 egg, but I doubled it. Yeah, so 1 egg, unless you're doubling it, then it's 2 eggs. And then a little bit of vanilla. And you whisk that. And then you put it into the bran flakes and milk that's sat for 10 minutes. And then you add your flour, which I believe is like 1 cup of flour. And then a tablespoon of baking soda, a tablespoon of baking powder. And then, salt. But I don't know what the salt does. But I sprinkled a little bit of salt, but I'm not bothered about the salt. And then I think it says raisins, so you can add raisins. Oh, the pumpkin. I made the pumpkin ones, pumpkin raisin. And I think I made the chocolate zucchini raisin as well, because I like raisins. And I would have put chocolate chips, but that's not as healthy. Although raisins can be sweet too, so depends how many you eat of them. But yeah, really easy recipe. And then you just mix it up, and then it's just like a gloopy, like, so then you have your what am I trying to say? Muffin tins, or your silicone muffin trays, and you oil them. I'm doing it like this because I have the spray oil to do it. I do it over the sink so that any of that gets away from the thing. It gets into the sink, easier to clean up. And then you just scoop your globby, bake into the, your batter into the baking trays, and put it in the oven for 20-25 minutes. Yeah, and you just touch the top and you'll know when they're ready, or you can tell by looking at them when they look like really cooked. And they've just been so yummy, warmed up, cold. They've just been a hit from everybody. And do you know what? Even the kids are eating them, and it's wholemeal flour and bran flakes. They're getting the good fiber in their diet, and they don't even know it. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. So, yeah. I just told you guys the whole recipe. I might as well have done this from the kitchen and made more. But I needed to, like, I took out a bunch of stuff because I'm trying to, you know, use up all the frozen fruit and stuff that I have in the freezer, taking up room, or, you know, being there for a few years and trying to use it up. And that's what I said to Steve. I said, I don't know what I did. The muffins are going to take up more room in the chest freezer than the ingredients. And he said, yeah, but they're going to get eaten. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I mean, I can ramble, even if you guys just want to listen to me talk about nothing, like a whole recipe where you don't even get to enjoy the muffins. Oh yeah, today when I was holding baby Jackson, you know, I get this, like, it's not a nervous leg, it's like a restless leg. Like, I shake my leg. I think everyone in my family does it. You just sit there and you, like, shake your leg, and sometimes it knocks the table, and Steve's, like, always pretends like an earthquake is happening when I'm shaking my leg. But when I was holding Jackson and doing it, it's almost like rocking him, so it worked out well. But I'm doing it now, too, so if you see me, like, moving a little bit like that, it's because I'm jiggling my leg. I am very excited for tomorrow because it is... everybody's back at work or school, and then I can be out in the garden, especially if it's nice weather. Is that time of year. If you're wondering what I'm doing with my days, I am probably cleaning something, organizing something, or trying to get out in the garden. And but because I want to be a nice houseplant mom, and I have these gorgeous new ones and stuff, I really need to love. I cannot explain to you guys. This is, like, honestly my favorite. Like, look at the gorgeous color, and I can't tell you how velvety green this is. Like, it just looks different than any of the other plants. It's such a deep velvet green color. And then this is that big fig that goes all the way taller than me, and I put it back here, and I hope it gets, even though the thing is, like, it'll get enough light up here, but the bottom half might lose its leaves because it's behind the couch. I don't know. But if I'm going to be a beautiful houseplant mom, I can't neglect these guys in the summertime when I spend all my days outside, because it's their growing season as well. So now they need more fertilizer. I mean, fertilizer only every month or so, but they need more water in the growing season as well. So they're going to need more love. And I've really done the talking positive to the plants. If you believe in energy and all that stuff, there's been experiments that people have done with glasses of, well, you can't tell with a glass of water. So you can take, say, 2 apples, and one of them you talk really mean to and say bad things to, and just sending out negative energy, basically. Your thoughts are, if you're having those words in your mind, that's negative. Even if you don't say the words, it's negative vibes, negative energy going towards that apple. And then you have another apple, and you're saying positive things to it, sending positive energy to it, telling it's beautiful and all those good things. And you'll see that, I guess, I haven't actually tried this, but I guess the apple that you talk down to, will rot faster than when you talk good to. I haven't tried this, but I do believe in the power of energy and the power of our words and our intention. And, like, you know, so I have not only been looking at my plants and loving my plants, but I will talk to them. I'll touch them. Hopefully they don't mind that. And just telling them, like, how gorgeous they look and how happy I am with them. And so when I walk past them, I'm just trying to give them love too, and letting them know that I'm trying to take care of them, and I will do my best to give them what they need. So far, it's still alive. That's a good sign. It's right in between the living room and dining room right here. So it gets light from the patio doors and then from the dining room window. So hopefully that's enough light. If this is enough light, and I've had a plant here before, if this is enough light from the patio windows, then it should be here as well. But it's even better if it gets light from the other side as well. Although I do tend to turn my plants. Obviously, this one's not going to be able to be turned very well. But lots of times I'll turn my plants so they grow evenly. You don't want them stretching towards the light. Anything anybody else has to say? I have my my word thing here too, just in case, you know, I can't think of what to say. But I'm gonna have a sip of my pop out of my glass. I still have the two greenhouse frames and all the glass from my old greenhouses sitting out in the front that I need to get rid of. The thing is, I'm gonna, okay, so there's the Middle Witch Crazy Daisies. I need to post it on there first and see if they want them. Otherwise, because if it's local, then like, you know, we can walk the frame to their place instead of taking it apart. Just like one of them I got for free, and we walked it a couple of blocks away, like down the street, me and Stuart, Steve's friend. Because that's part of the problem, is taking apart the metal frame and putting it back together. So if it's someone local, then we can just walk it down there. And then if the Middle Witch Crazy Daisies don't want it, I think I'm just going to put it on my normal Facebook, because, you know, Steve doesn't want strangers knowing where we live. So, you know, he doesn't want just random people coming to our house to pick up things that, you know, I put on the buy and sell. So, and then if nobody takes it of my friends and family, then I might put it on the buy and sell. And if that doesn't work, then it is going in the bin, which makes me really sad, because those greenhouses were, you know, for people who don't have money but would love to have a greenhouse, they worked just fine. Yes, even if some of the glass is broken. I have extra glass that just needs to be cut. And even if you don't have glass, you can cover it in plastic, you know, like just like a polytunnel, or you can, you know, even cover it with tarpaulin, and it can be storage. I don't know. It's just, I hate things going into the bin, because I know when you don't have money, how much it matters. Like if I didn't have money for a greenhouse, I would, again, love those. Like one of them I got for free. So that's fine. Okay. So Melody says, I'm watching, just had a shower and now getting dressed, so not commenting because I'm doing things. That's okay. You can just listen to my lovely voice, lulling you. So relaxing. So yes, I got the two greenhouses in the front that need to go. And then I got the two loft beds, one double and one single, in clogging up, plus the mattresses clogging up the living room of the guest house, that need to go. Same thing. I need to, if nobody local, I mean, like if nobody of our friends and family that live local want them, then they need to go and buy and sell or something. The mattresses, I guess it's like where it's called like a, what do you call it? Like, we call it a tip. So a big dumpster we call a skip, which we need one of those too, because we've got a bunch of crap on the side of the house that needs to go literally into a skip to go to the tip, which is like the dump site, like the recycling center, but it's like, you know, and there's household waste, or like, you know, cardboard and plastics and bottles and electronics and all the different places that you can put the stuff to recycle. And they actually have one that's for old mattresses. But it's the same thing, like, especially the mattresses that, there is one that needs to go into the skip at the tip, because it's old and gross, and who knows where it was before it was Owen's. It looks like it's from the 70s. But the other ones, the only people who've had them are the girls. And yes, they've spilled some stuff on them. They're stained a little bit and everything, but they're not in bad condition. And like even the mattresses that we bought for the girls' beds were £100 each. And they needed two for their beds, because it's a single bed that becomes a double bed, right? For if you have friends sleep over. So it, you know, same thing. I hate seeing things go to waste. And if you were poor and you couldn't afford that stuff, yeah, you wouldn't care if it was a used mattress. You'd just put some mattress protector over it or whatever, right? So I hate the idea of throwing these things in the bin. So I need to deal with that. We tried some charities, but the charities that we tried, they weren't taking beds at the moment. Just weird. But, you know, there's always like free cycle. There's always people who are willing to take stuff as long as they take it away. But then after those big things, I have lots of little things. Like, I need to take even all the kids' toys, because they're not kids anymore. I want to bring them down, like dump out all the baby dolls and go through them and say, which baby dolls do you guys want to keep? And which, you know, for your kids or whatever, and which ones you want to get rid of. And then, boom, get rid of lots of stuff. All the Barbies. Because I have everything in bins organized. That's how it was with the kids for them to play. If they wanted to play Barbies, we'd bring down the bins of Barbies. And they could play Barbies. And if they wanted something else, they had to clean up all the Barbies. And then we'd put those away. And then they could have the, whatever, Lego. Or whatever the other thing is that they wanted. So, I need to go through all that stuff. I go through the dress up stuff too. And it was good when I was like, yes, once Erica doesn't fit the dress up stuff, you know, like they call it fancy dress here. Just costumes and stuff like that that you might use at Halloween or just playing dress up. At first I was like, oh, Erica doesn't fit these things, I can get rid of them. But then I thought, oh, grandkids and stuff, you want to keep some of them because, you know, I picture like, we're already grandparents and we're still not done being like parents of young kids. But I picture like, I actually picture The Office when I don't know if Steve does or not, but when the garage becomes our bedroom and the room above it, the art room, becomes a bigger room and it becomes the office, then this room will be empty. And I picture this as a playroom for the kids. So, you know, I picture our hundreds and hundreds of grandkids coming over and even having like a chest that you open and it has all the different costumes in or whatever. So, and we have different sizes and everything. So costumes are hard to get rid of, but I'm still going through. I don't need everything. Yes, and as much as some people think, I mean, I am a hoarder in some ways, but at the same time, I'm ready to get rid of a lot of stuff if it doesn't serve the purpose anymore. I don't need it just to take up room. But it's not even the going through it and choosing what to get rid of. It's the actually getting rid of it. Because say, like, I'm going through the Barbies and the dolls. Then I have all these things. Are the charity shops going to take them? Or are they only going to take specific ones? And yeah, so it's really frustrating when there's not somewhere that you can just drop it off and let them deal with it and go through it and then dispose of whatever they don't take. Because then I know at least I donated the stuff, but I hate going somewhere with things that I know are good and useful and somebody would love them, but they say that they won't take them. And then the only other option is putting them in the bin, and I hate that. I hate the waste because there's so many kids out there that would love a doll. So... excuse me, before you know it though, the weather being warmer outside will make the loft warmer up there, so I won't be able to work in there as well. Plus, the electricians, where are you? I want them to put lights up in the loft so it's easier for me to work in there instead of having to drag this snake of long lights that I plug into each other, and I have to drag them around the loft because remember, the loft is as big as the house, right? So if I'm working in this part here, I have to bring this whole snake of lights to have light over here. And they did put in a light in the loft, just one light. It's just like one light bulb. When you go up the ladder, it's like right there, just one light bulb. So it does light up like that little small area. But anyway, so I want the electricians to put the lights in the loft. And then obviously, now that the gorgeous, wonderful greenhouse is here, I want electricity in there too, whether it's for radio but mostly for a heater, and I want lights in the greenhouse as well. I cannot tell you how spoiled and lucky I am for the greenhouse. It's one of the best things that has happened to me in my life. I love my kids, I love my husband and our grandson, and I love our house, and I'm totally blessed in so many ways, but like this, having a greenhouse was cool enough, but this greenhouse is like, I mean, if it's up to me, I would like live in a big greenhouse, like, you know, like in a garden, like what would you call it? Like in Edmonton, there's the Mutart conservatories. Here, there's like the Kew Gardens, and so like I would live inside of a big greenhouse. Where you just have this like tropical feeling, like humidity, all these plants. I would just live in there. I'd have my living room in there, my kitchen in there, my bedroom. Like I would totally live in a greenhouse. I even designed a house in a greenhouse that like it was one of my plans of a house that I wanted to build. And there's also this thing that I've shared before that I found in a magazine from the 70s where it showed a greenhouse over a pool, an outdoor pool, and the mom of the family was gardening. The dad, I think he might have been lying on a lounger, sunbathing, and the little boy was swimming. No, there was the pool, but he was up against the glass like this in his little swimming trunks, and on the other side of the greenhouse glass was another little boy in his snowsuit, and like looking at the boy in snowsuit and hat and everything else because there was snow all around the outside. And I thought like winter and summer at the same time, and I loved it, and I always wanted that. However, now that I'm an adult, I also realized that we would need to have a lot of the dough to have something like that because to heat it. But then when you think about solar panels, and this would work, well, obviously we don't get a lot of snow here for one, but also I've talked about it in Canada too, you get a lot of winter sun. So it would work in Canada to do that. Obviously, if you could afford to build an in-ground pool and a huge greenhouse over it. But then solar panels, with the winter sun, you might have enough solar panels to heat the inside of the greenhouse. So I always thought that would be cool. So this is not a huge live-in greenhouse, but this is still a big greenhouse. I could have a single bed in there. I could have a desk in there. And the ceiling's tall, especially for someone short like me. And I'm just like so happy. Even just getting to be in that dry space when it's raining outside, but I still feel like I'm outside is awesome. I love it. I would definitely live in a glass house or windows everywhere. So it is one of the best things that's happened to me, and I can't tell people how happy I am and how excited I am about it. I don't want to not show how much I appreciate it and know that, like, how lucky I am to have this and how gorgeous it is. It's, you know, it's a hunter green, like it's a really dark green frame, but it looks black in, like, on videos and pictures, and that's cool because I have this little miniature that I haven't made yet because I haven't even finished my little Christmas miniature scene. I'm almost done the Christmas one, but I also I want to get like a glass box to put it in so it doesn't get dusty. But I have this other one to build as well, and it is a greenhouse, and then you make all the little plants out of like green paper and wire and stuff like that, and like, again, it's a miniature, right? And the frame of this house is black for this greenhouse, and that every time I see that one outside, it reminds me of that miniature but bigger. So, and the potential, especially if I got like a solar panel to heat the greenhouse or whatever, because you don't want to, like I said, it's a bigger space to heat in the winter. But depending on what temperature I can keep it, at least above freezing, the possibilities are endless for what I can have in there. Some people I see on the internet, and they walk into their greenhouses, and it's not just like where they propagate seedlings. It is like a tropical, like, houseplant heaven, like a jungle. And yeah, I'm very excited. So I would like to do my seeds as well, some seeds. Just like, even just sweet corn, some tomatoes. My mom says her tomatoes are doing really well, and I am like so behind. But sweet corn, tomatoes, and I mean, even if I just do the whole big raised bed of sweet corn this year. But yeah, I just want to do some things, a few things, but I'm not really worried about seeds this year. Next year, no stopping me. There's going to be seeds starting like in February. Maybe. You know what I mean. It'll be easier next year because everything will already be in order. Let's see. I can't believe it's like already like April 16th. Time is flying by, but that's what happens as adults. It just seems like time just goes so quickly. And you know, if time is relevant, is that the right word? So sometimes when you're like, if you're in an accident, time seems to like slow down, and like sometimes time seems like really quickly, and you're like, where did the time go? So if I'm conscious of time, is there a way for me to stretch time where I'm working at my normal pace, but I've actually slowed down time so I can get more done in a day than I would if I'm not paying attention to the time? That'd be awesome, because it just seems like sometimes some days it feels like the day is too long and you just want it to be over. But most days I feel like I just don't have enough hours to get everything done that I want to get done. And it's not even about having to get it done. It's like I really am like in a zone and want to keep doing whatever I'm doing, and I don't have enough time. Melody says, you must be happy to have your plants moved out of the house now into the greenhouse. I am absolutely happy about that. That was one thing that, Like, Thomas kept teasing me when they would get home from work and I'd be in here with, like, Sasha watching his dog. But he would say, oh, she mithered for a green. Mithered means, like bugged or complained, like, and she mithered for a greenhouse and now she's not even using it. And I was just thinking that. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm already using it. Like, the plants are out of here. It's our living room is more open and empty. So there's no excuse for me not to do my yoga and shred now. Like I said, we've been eating healthy since Tuesday. We are serious about this, but I need to get back onto my, like, really working out. So, yes, I am very happy for the plants to be out there. I am seeing an improvement in them already from having more light. You may or may not have seen my lemon tree, which was doing well in the house anyways, but the lemons, I have like 4 that are yellow. Well, 3. I have 4 that are yellow because one was from before that's still sitting on my kitchen table, but the other 3 that were yellow I took off, and I accidentally knocked one off the tree and it's more green, so that one I have to wait to ripen. And I don't know what to do with them. I could do lemon water. I don't want to make lemonade with them because, like, I could just eat them. I like lemon. Like, just cut them into, like, wedges and eat them. Like, I don't know what to do with them. I'm so excited. It's so cool to have growing lemons. Oh, lemons! You can do them in Canada as well if you have a bright, warm spot. Like, if you have, like, a really bright, warm window, like if you keep your house at normal temperature and you have a bright window, then you could grow a lemon tree or a orange tree or a tangerine or a, what's the other one? Kumquat. Yeah, so, so, yeah, I don't know if to do those lemons, but yes, my plants are happier in the greenhouse. I'm happier to have them out of the house. That's what I told Steve. I mean, I like plants in the house, but there is too many. If it has to look nice. So, and some plants don't belong in the house. So, yes, that is very exciting. It is hard in the garden right now, like, while I'm going around cleaning up and stuff like that, because so many things died this winter because we got down to -13, which is, for the people on the prairies in Canada, doesn't sound very cold, but for here, usually it's no more than -5 over winter on our cold days. So -13 has killed a lot, has killed a lot of things that I wouldn't have killed in other seasons. And then obviously I wasn't ready to do anything with it because everything was messed up with, so I have a lot of pots that I'm not sure if the thing is dead or not. So I've just left them in place. But, okay, ideally, if I knew that it was dead and there was nothing in that pot, I would move it to what I call the nursery on the side here. So there's a graveyard in the nursery. And then only have pots out that have things in them that are growing, right? So it looks nice. But I don't know if some things, I don't know if they're dead or not, or if they'll come back. If they've just died on top, but they're still okay in the roots and then they're going to come back. So I've left pots, I've just cut things down and left them all in place. And so that's part of the hard thing. But yeah, so that even on the side, like all my dahlias and cannas and everything else, which you're supposed to like put away anyways on a normal winter here, I don't know if any of them survive. So there's part of me that wants to just like take all the pots and if the thing's rotten inside, just dump all the dirt into the raised beds and then just stack all the empty pots. However, potting soil is so expensive now that if I just dump all my potting soil into the raised bed and have all these empty pots and then I want to buy new plants to replace the ones that died, then I'm going to have to buy new potting soil and it's very expensive. So I am making my own compost and stuff still too, but yes, so that's the hard part right now is just all these empty pots scattered in with the things that are growing, not knowing if there's going to be just a bunch of empty pots in the displays this year or what, and waiting to see any form of life coming out of them. Mel said that is cool. I think that was regarding lemons or the plants being in the greenhouse or what. And then she said, were those from seed? My lemon tree was not from seed, and my kumquat, and then I have a limequat. They were not from seed. They were from like B&Q, which is like Home Depot. So I bought them already like with stuff on them. And so that helped. But I do have one small little lemon tree that's like just one little stem. And that one was from my father-in-law, Pierce, and he grew that from a seed. So I don't know how many years it takes for a lemon seed growing like that, how many years it takes to, even in the best conditions, how long it takes to fruit. But we'll see. Brain has shut off for the night. There, okay, so like I said last night, after me and Steve did our exercise, there's something we did before that too. What happened yesterday? Sorry, am I back? I don't know what we did yesterday before we worked out, but it was late and I needed to use up the red currants and the pumpkin before it went bad, so I made those muffins last night, but it was like 11 o'clock when I took them out of the oven last, and so I have a bunch of dishes in there, which the rule is, even for the kids, if you bake, you do your own dishes. Whereas, like, well, the kids used to have a week on the dishes and stuff, but now since we got the dishwasher, because I'm very persnickety about how it needs to be loaded to be most efficient, I do the dishes all the time now. But, well, that's not true, because Thomas made dinner for him and the kids last night, and he did the dishes and Erica put on the dishwasher for them. So, but most of the time I'm doing the dishes, but the rule is if you bake, you do your own dishes. Whereas, like, if it's supper dishes or lunch dishes, then it goes to whoever's doing the dishes. But if you bake, it's not fair, like, for you to bake and dirty all these extra dishes and then somebody else have to clean them up. So I do have to clean those dishes, and it's supposed to be done right away. So I am not a naughty girl because the other thing is, like, okay, fine if I left them last night because I was going to go to bed after that, but I didn't do them today because we were out. So I have those waiting there that I could do after my live. I still need to do my workout after my live. And then I saw my coloring stuff over there, and I thought, oh, I should color after my live. Or, of course, there's always part of me that just wants to go to bed after my live, because it's like one day that I actually get to go to sleep early because Steve won't get home till 11 or 12. So, we'll see what I do after my live, which will be only in like 10 minutes. But, yeah. So, but there's a lot of dishes. But then tomorrow's Monday, so I think, I'll just start on everything again tomorrow, right? Like cleaning the house and doing all that stuff and whatever. But now these brown muffins are going to be good for mornings. I made egg muffins as well, which, like, when I say egg muffins, you might think of like McDonald's, like, egg muffins, like a muffin, like a bread muffin, an English muffin with egg and stuff in it. But that's not what I mean. I mean, like, it's kind of like a scrambled egg in a muffin tin, right? So then you take them out and you got like a little egg thing with like whatever meat or like veg that you want in it, like tomato and bacon or whatever. So I made some of those too, and they're frozen. So those make quick, easy breakfast, even if you put them in a Ninja, because they got a little bit of cheese sprinkled on top. So if you warm them up in the microwave for a minute so the middle's warm, and then put them in the Ninja for another minute or two, then it crisps them up on top again. So those are really nice, quick, easy breakfast because I've already frozen them. Because we're eating healthy, it's one of the ways to eat healthy is to plan things more, because then you know, like, I even have, like, I want to make like cheese portioned, or like carrot sticks, and so you have carrots and hummus, or you have like cheese and grapes, or like you have, and and I also want to make a list. I want to like write the things down to know what are the snacks that are good for us to have when it's snack time, so that when you're like, I need something, what can I have? You're not like looking through the cupboard or the fridge or thinking of the things you shouldn't have. You just go to that list and you're like, yes, I think I'm going to have a yogurt and half a banana or whatever. So yeah, I would say part of eating healthy and eating within reason with your portions is planning your meals and your snacks and knowing what is available and what works for your numbers. So yeah, with the bran muffins, with the egg muffins, and there's grapes and stuff in the fridge right now too. I'll go shopping again on Tuesday, but and I have yogurts, and Steve has like protein yogurts too. I don't like them because I just don't like them. But when he's eating healthy, he has a protein yogurt so he can eat as a one of his snacks, and he can have raw fruit with them. So sometimes he'll take that as a lunch instead of, and now I can start making him tuna salads. Because he was saying like in the colder months, he liked warmer lunches. So like chili and stew and stuff like that. But now it's getting warmer. I can do tuna salads and chicken salads every day again. And, yes, so we're back on that, and then low carbs, and we'll see how it goes. I can post different things that we're making, and a lot of chicken and veg, chicken and veg, chicken and veg, chicken and veg. But it doesn't have to just be chicken and veg. You can think of lots of creative things to be low cal. Actually, the last couple of days I've had, I've had taco salads. And you can even make the taco salad like with beef and, like lettuce, tomato, a bit of cheese, peppers, if you're not allergic to them like Steve, and onion, and I use Frank's Red Hot sauce, and, mix it up, and just with the beef, like you don't even have to add nacho chips, but because I could have a bit of carbs, I had just a few nacho chips crunched up in it. I didn't have like as many as I would have if I wasn't eating healthy, whereas I would like dump the whole bag and no, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. The last 2 nights I've had just taco salads, like beef salads, for my supper, and it was filling and enough. And so there's lots of different things you can have. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back. I was listening to this podcast today, and, well, I think it was Dateline, actually, and it was talking about body dysmorphia, but it was talking about, like, what did it call it? It's like anorexia, but they called it bigorexia, something like that, and it's the body dysmorphia, but in the opposite way for, like, men especially, who they work out and they want to be bigger and bigger, and it's like the same thing. The thing is, it's not about the body, it's that you're not happy with yourself. So no matter how big they get, they're still not happy with themselves. So but it made me think, because I was listening to some of the men who were talking about it, talk about how like they would look in the mirror and they just, no matter what, they couldn't be happy with what they saw. And the thing is that, I'm not totally unhappy with the way I look. I am not that big or anything, and I'm functioning, I'm healthy, you know what I mean? But last year, every time I walked by a mirror, and not in a, snobby, conceited way, I wasn't like, oh, you're amazing. But I would walk by a mirror and be like, wow, you look good. I like you. Like, you're doing it. But I was happy with how I looked. That's my point, is that I wasn't at my goal. I wasn't at like the perfect body, but I was happy with the way I looked, and I loved it. So I have to do the work, because I didn't just, get there doing nothing. And it's not hard work. It's just the consistency of getting on track and then keeping on track. So as I'm going to keep repeating this every week, because I'm repeating it to myself, because I know I can do it. I know it's doable. It's not crazy, like, it's not mountain climbing every day or something. And it's, even time restraints. Even if I had a full-time job, there's no reason that I can't do 20 minutes of yoga and 25 minutes of the shred. It's like, I can do this. I want to do this. I was happy with the way I looked, and I want to do it again. So, wish me luck. It's been almost a week of eating, portioned meals and healthier. And again, I don't want it to be like obsessive. That's not healthy, no matter if you're trying to bulk up and look like a big bodybuilder, or you're, suffering with anorexia and you're portioning like small and counting every calories and everything else. It's not healthy. I'm not doing it in a crazy, mark all my calories down. And if I go over a calorie, then, I beat myself up about it. This is just about being realistic, that the fact that we eat more than we need to, and we just need to cut it. Even if you don't change what you're eating, just cut your portions down. Even if just slightly, and then slightly a little more. And instead of taking 3 scoops of whatever's for dinner, take 2. And because we all overeat. Unless you're anorexic or you actually have control over your eating, which is the point. But most of us, we eat way more than we need to function. So it's not about being crazy, I don't know what the word is, like, obsessive. It's just about being realistic to what your body actually needs to function. It's like you wouldn't put more oil in, well, actually I did that once. I didn't realize you could put too much oil in a car. And if you put too much oil in a car, that's not good for it. So you wouldn't put too much oil in a car. You wouldn't put too much soap in a dishwasher. You know, like they're not going to function properly if you put too much in it. So why are you surprised if you feel lethargic or you can't lose weight, or, you know, oh, I'm doing the exercise, but I just can't seem to lose weight? Well, are you burning off everything that you're putting into your body? I mean, I doubt that you're working on a farm and working like from sunrise to sunset. Like, you make sure that you're like really, especially because a lot of the foods that we eat are things that people ate like 50 years ago. You know, like a lot of the carbs and the breads and the things that they needed to function in a physical job. So they needed those things to, you know, because they were physical. But now if you're working in an office and everything, breads and cakes and like all these things like that, you're not burning it off. You're just not. So it's not just working out and being physical. It's also how much you're putting into your body. Melody says, you can do it. Thank you, Melody. I know I can. I just need to do it. It's there's no excuse. There's just laziness. And I know once I start, I know I'm good like that. I know once I start, I will be committed to myself. But it's just about getting started. And I know that part of it is that it's really muddy because some of the grass is missing out the back door. So when the dogs come in, the floor is really muddy. But that is just excuses. Because if I'm doing my yoga on a yoga mat, then if I use it the same side down and the same side up every day, then it's not going to affect it. Plus, even if my clothes get dirty, I work in the garden. And when I do my shred, I will have shoes on anyway. So like it is an excuse, but it's not a good enough excuse. So let's hope that next week, when I talk to you guys, I have actually done my workouts. But yes, eating healthy has commenced on Tuesday, and it has been good all week. So me and Steve are back on this, doing this. And even if you don't want to join and you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just encourage us, because, you know, it's important to be healthy and to like the way you look. So, all right. Well, you guys have a good evening. I love you guys. I don't know what I'm doing next week for my live, but maybe I'll have a guest. That would be nice, because I miss having guests and having different, you know, things. So, Melody's got like this cartoon, plant with a flower on it, and it's got arms going like this. So look at that. It is not just the working out, it's a plant as well. And that's actually true, because going into the garden and doing more stuff outside and everything, I'm going to already be doing more physical stuff and getting the strength because of moving big pots around and stuff. So there's no reason not to add the rest onto it. And like I said, even if I worked a full-time job outside of the house, I could still make time for my workouts. So there's no excuse to not do them when I work full-time in the house. So anyways, I love you guys. And Melody says, Mom says, bye. Melody says, me too. I just got to do it. And Melody, I know you can do it too, because you've done it before. And I believe in you. So, you know, just do it, as Nike says. How long was I muted for? Let's do this again. So, Mom sent the sticker. Melody said, me too, I just got to do it. Mom said, bye. Melody said, yoga in your greenhouse. And Mom said that was me who sent the thing. So, yoga in my greenhouse. I even said that to Steve. There is enough room to do it in there. There's no excuse. And actually, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. It's really big and empty in the middle, and I could do my yoga there with, it would be quieter, and the dogs, Sasha, because she went through the glass, she's actually scared of the greenhouse. Lena will come in and lie there, but Sasha's scared of it. So, yeah, I could do yoga in the greenhouse. Don't forget, get your buddies ready, big, small, in between whatever, it doesn't matter, but Naked Gardening Day is at the beginning of May, and yes, it'll still probably be very chilly out, but naked gardening in May, so you don't have to actually garden in May naked, but you can do a photo if you want. Or not, because I don't know anybody else besides me who does it. I see on the internet other people do it, but can you hear me right now? Am I muted right now, or was I muted before? Because I know I hit the mute button, but I think I was muted when it had a circle with the microphone on the middle. So I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? I'll take a drink while you answer me. Yeah, and I have a cucumber and those lemons, so I can make more lemon cucumber water or something and stop drinking so much pop. Even beside the bed at night, I have water. I don't drink the pop after. So I think you guys can hear me right now. Still waiting on a response. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, then I'm just being weird. No? Answer? Melody said yes. So, with that, because you can hear me, I'll just say goodbye again. I love you guys, and I will see you next week, and we will see what we have in store for, today's the 16th, so, what, 23rd, I guess? Next Sunday is the 23rd of April. I don't know. I've been staring into the light now, so now I'm just seeing, I'm not seeing right. Okay, I love you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, and try and change something for the better this week. Oh! We need to do our question. Ugh. We need to do our question real quick. There was something that I was going to think of. I don't think we did this question, and I don't think that there is, what was it again? I think there was two things that it was like sort of irrelevant after you're dead because you can't really make those things happen. I can only think of one of them right now. So the question is there anybody that you don't want going to your funeral or your wake or your, whatever it is? Is there anybody specifically that you want there? So you could, again, this can be private. Nobody has to see this until, like, as long as they know where your plans are in case of needing it. You can make a list of things, but is there anybody that you specifically don't want to attend your wake or funeral? Or because you're already passed away, is it like a free-for-all? There was one episode that I listened to of a man who was cheating on his wife, so he had a girlfriend, and he died, and the girlfriend wanted to attend the funeral, but the wife didn't want her there. So it's not about like who's right, who's wrong. You know, it's like obviously that would be really awkward for the wife, but at the same time for the girlfriend, that was something that really mattered to her. And yeah, it's just an awkward thing. But then there's part of me that believes that like a funeral should be open to anybody that wants to show their respects to the person who died. But if there's somebody who was abusive to you in your life or that you really don't like, then you might not want them there. So, but then is it up to the people who are planning your funeral, or is it up to you? Because I know there was another one where the person wanted, I can't remember who to attend their funeral, but once they died, the family didn't want that person there, but the person who died did want them there, but they were dead, so they couldn't really enforce it. So that is your question for the week. Is there anybody that you specifically do not want at your funeral or your wake? Or is there anybody specifically that you do want? Or is it open for all? So that is what you will write this week, and I will write it out and post it in the, I don't know why, but the album, if you go under my photos and go under albums on Facebook, there's the album for Peppertooth's end of life plans, and you'll have all the previous questions we did there. But for some reason, that album, once I made it, it was posted to just for me to be able to view instead of everybody, but I changed it now so everybody can view it, and you can see all the questions we've already asked there. Otherwise, they're all on my Instagram as well. But you can either scroll through my Instagram, or you can search up the hashtag on Instagram, hashtag Peppertooth end of life planning, Peppertooth's end of life planning, and that should bring you to all of our questions. All right, I love you guys. I will put the recipe for the bran muffins in the comments, and I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye. For real this time.